All right, we're back. Sorry for the delay. Those of you that joined us last night, and those of you that didn't join us last night, you missed a good show. With this month is Cybersecurity Month. I feel like I'm so short. Let me bring this down. I feel like all you seeing is just neck and head, which you are. Bring this down. So, there we go. Much better. All right. If you missed the show last night, we had Derek Thomas on from B-Sides here in Tampa to talk about his path and his journey into cybersecurity. You also got a chance to see about regulations and compliance when it comes to cybersecurity. Along with that, we also had Black Professor Ops on to talk about compliance and STIG and CMMC, and where you can find some free tools that we gave. We talked about free tools as well too when it comes to cybersecurity. All right. So you missed a good time. Hey, if you missed it, you can go catch the replay on that show to see what we talked about, to see whether free information is at, and as well as some of the information that didn't know about the map as well too. Right. So uh, I hope you all enjoyed that show because that show was totally fun. All right. So I see Michelle Henderson. I see you out there. How you doing? Natasha, what's going on? Hey there, girl. Oh, just play. Uh, Cisco. I'm gonna say Cisco 5, right, or Cisco V, but I'm assuming 5. But when I see that, I'm thinking about hopping on the command line every time I see your name. I feel like I need to open up. I need to open up Putty and get on a terminal with my DCE DTE cables and get on the back end and start configuring something every time I see your name. And what's going on, Timothy LaFleur? Yeah, 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 yeah. We train like, look, you tell me if Linux is tailored to one particular gender, right? It ain't. Yeah, show running config, delete running config. Like, you want to take something down, go ahead and delete it, right? Hope you got a backup, right? But yeah, the show last night, we had fun. We're gonna have fun all day today. We got a special guest coming on at 2 o'clock. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. When I tell you don't want to miss it, I'm telling you don't want to miss it. You're gonna kick yourself, right? All right. So be on that show. Remember, you can come up on any show if you want to ever come up on a show. You're more than welcome. But why are we here today? Today is Tech Stocks and Jobs, where we talk about uh, IPOs, where we talk about companies that are currently in the tech arena or in the tech space, or just really any company, and what is the technology behind that company. Should you invest in that company? What does their future look like? And then on top of that, what kind of jobs do they offer? Right? We often see times where people are going out and they have these big IPOs, or they raise the Series A or Series B funding. And what does that actually mean to you? And how do you get into a company and take on ownership of it in terms of equity, in terms of having an investment in that company? Should you be in there for 4 years or 2 years? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, where the model is actually changing in some of these startups, where instead of you getting the equity for 4 years, they're changing it now to a year. So you may be with a company and your stocks or has vested in a year versus vested in 4 years, right? So that's super huge, from the fact that most people in startup world are only staying at companies for 2 years, right? So now in instead of being in the company for 4 years, you may be in there for a year and your stock gets vested. And we talked about that. So, and those of you don't know who we are, we're Women in Linux. I'm Tam or Tameika. D's in the background. And If you want to know more about us, let me hit the home here. You can find us at womeninlinux.org. You can also find us on meetup.com. You can find us across social media at Women in Linux. I gotta go work on our TikTok space. We do have a TikTok. I just need to go work on it. It's just a lot of stuff to be, managing and so forth and so on. So, we're getting there. All right. I even started a Patreon, but I haven't finished everything out yet. Right. So we've got so much stuff going on that's gonna be coming. Um, More training. Just a lot of stuff. Right. What you see right now is just a smidgen of information that I just have that I've collected over time and people I've met and things. So yeah, just be on the lookout. So you hit us up on womeninlinux.org. If you want to connect with us, we have our Slack. So you hit connect. You will need the Slack app. You will need to on your phone and or on the desktop. I usually use my web browser on my desktop because uh, it is resource heavy when it comes down to our to that Slack app. So I use just the desktop so it don't crash my machine, right? The other one is if you want to shop, you can always hit the shop button, and then you want to get something for the holidays for someone. Someone's having a baby, or someone you want to just introduce to Linux, or you just want to share, right? You can always come here, shop, click on all products, check out what we have. Some of the stuff we have in house. Oh, the clock is over there. I need to show you that clock. So we do have a clock. We got onesies. You got hats. If you click on next, you'll see we got even have socks for those that want to rock the socks. Oh, D, we need to get the socks that go all the way up to the knees. We need knee high socks. We need to get those. All right. And we also have the cup. I have the cup sitting right here. Right here. All right. Boom. Cup. 5 year anniversary. Boom. All right. And then we also have other raglans as well too that don't have the 5 year anniversary on them. All right. Next thing up is if you want to donate, you don't have to donate with your money. You can donate with your time. You can come share our YouTube channel, tweet us out. That helps us. That when you help us, we help you because again, we're doing it all for you, trying to get you the information to get you prepared for these tech streets. You said get some DC slouch. Slouch. I don't know. I gotta check them out. You gotta send me a picture, Kevin, on what those look like, because I feel like slouch socks don't have the elastic in them, and you just take them out, and you can have some slouch socks. You want me to make you some? I got some socks right now. I can make some for you. I'm just playing. All right, and when you donate via PayPal, all the proceeds go to us. You can click here to do your donation and go from there. All right. And last but not least, if you are looking to do some training, and there's actually two things, last but not least, you can hit up IT Pro TV. You can then put in the code for Women in Linux. We do we are coming up on the end of our O'Reilly. I am a fan of O'Reilly, but again, go sign up for these different classes, right? Just to see how you like it. I like O'Reilly learning platform only because I think it gives you a variety of information versus IT Pro TV. That they're strictly IT. I think the O'Reilly one's a little bit more flexible. Uh, to me. That's just my own personal take. But you don't have to believe me. You can go sign up for trial periods yourself. Remember, Black Friday is coming, so a lot of these websites are gonna be running discounts, right? So don't forget that's coming up, right? All right, and one other thing was IT Pro TV, the 101. If you want a 101 on career advice or career assessment and so forth, I try to give you at least something tangible that you can start to work with. What the landscape looks like, where people headed, where they're going, what I'm seeing out there, and you can always go out and check it out, right? And I think that covered everything. I think I did. I think I did. All right. So this week, since we got a guest, I'm gonna have to kind of like combine some stuff, right? Because I don't think I'll be able to talk about this when the guest comes on. So I'm gonna go through my stuff that I found and bring it up, right? So we've been following along with just it's just a whole lot, right? Hold on, let me pull this up. So the show is gonna be a combination. So I'm always out here looking at stuff. So again, I'm gonna bring up the jobs and the IPOs and the text. But let's get through some things first. So here I was looking at like last night. I was looking like, well, what if because I get these questions all the time, like what do I need to have, right? So here are the five must haves for automation tools. Now this one came out. Of course, this is somebody's opinion, right? You may see something differently, right? So here, role-based access control, self-hosted agents and runners, and here they're talking about with GitLab and so forth, right? When we're talking about this, let me blow this up because I know it looks small on screen because I'm looking at it. So here they're talking about role-based access control, self-hosted runners, plan on pull requests. We talked about Git flow, and then here, continuous deployment. Remember, there's a difference between continuous deployment and continuous delivery. And then shift left. We always talk about security issues not being an afterthought and then pushing forward, but it's a recurring theme that you see. So when you're looking at this, just when you're looking at things like this, just look at it at a high view, and then you can add your own stuff, or you can write your own articles, right? Just I just wanted to put that out there, right? So because if somebody was looking like, what are the five things that I think I should have as a in my repertoire as my skill set, this would be one of those, right? This would be something. Again, I go along and tell you, Linux, pick a cloud. I don't care what cloud you use, or learn, and then security, because security is going to always be there, and basically everybody is using Kubernetes now, and Kubernetes falls under so many different things such as Tanzu, OpenShift, Vanilla Kubernetes, Rancher, K8s, K3s, those things fall under that. And then just wrapped up inside of all of that are really these five things here that you see when we're talking about five things that you must have. Understanding role-based access control, you're going to get that inside of Kubernetes. Self-hosted runners with GitLab and GitHub, a merge request, a pull request, understanding Git flow, and understanding Git ops, and then shifting left, understanding security should not be an afterthought, pull it forward, right? And so understand that these themes here are in the same jobs that we look up every week when we're talking about what technology, what jobs are out there in terms of these IPOs and so forth, right? And drop a one in the comments if all of this is making sense or it's not making sense. Let me know. All right. So let's get into uh I have here some careers, I have some jobs. Let me see. I pulled this up and this is Google. Let me look. Because remember some of this stuff, oh man, it didn't pull up. I wrote like 2 weeks ago. Hold on. Let me look at this because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. All right, this one. Talked about it last night. Perspective raises 40 million in a Series A for stratospheric balloon rise. Right. So now here we go. Here we go. Right. So now we're going into space with balloon rise. You see Shatner just went up into space and he's 90 years old. Right. So let me blow this up some because I don't think you all can see this. Right. Right. So here we go. Right. The balloon rise. Right. So the successful commercial launch of Blue Origin, SpaceX, and Virgin Galactic have officially ushered in a new space tourism. Space tourism. All right. But unlike these companies, which are planning to taking people to space using rockets and spaceship, a 2-year-old startup, Space Perspective, is taking a different track. Instead of going into space on a rocket, which is prohibitively expensive to develop and may not appeal to other customers, the startup plans to offer rides to the stratosphere using a capsule attached to a large balloon. So when you talk about stratosphere, let's look that up. I know you've seen it before, but let's look that up. That's how you spell it, but that's not what I want. Let's look at a visual of it. Let me see. Do they have it? Yeah, yeah. Right. Let's blow that picture up. Right. So here we are when we're talking about stratosphere, like we're talking in here, looks like altitude from anywhere from 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers. Now I'm not sure how high they're going because the weather balloons looks like they're around about 20 miles up. So, you can go up into space for that. So I don't know how far they're going up, right? How far are they going to take you up? I guess just a little bit over the ozone layer, and then you come back down. How much of those rides going to be, right? All right. So they said this is due to a Series A to take it through this first planned commercial flights in late 2024. They already have 475 reservations. Each reservation requires a deposit from 10,000 to 25,000, depending on how soon the passenger is looking to fly. The total seat cost is 125,000. The total seat cost is 125,000. They already have 475 reservations at a minimum of 10 to 25,000 on a deposit. So you do the math on 475 times 125, and they're on Series A at 40 million. So now they don't think they have no Groupon. So now we know about this company, right? Space Perspective. Now let's go see what kind of jobs. Just drop in the comments. What kind of jobs or skill sets do you think they need to have, right? Just think about we're going into space, right? Let's talk it out, and you drop down what you're thinking, right? We're going into space. What kind of jobs you think they have? Let's when we're thinking about this. Well, we got to keep up with how far we go. We got to keep up with weight. We got to keep up with the air, what's going on out there. So they probably already have something launched out there. Sales, exactly. Uh, what kind of shape does the person need to be in order to catch these flights? Is there some kind of rules and regulations that need to be there? Like, just when you're thinking about when you're looking at these companies, think about those things. So now what's the technology behind them? And that's what we're getting ready to go find out. So Space Perspective, let's go check them out. Let's go see what we come up with here. All right, there they are. Reserve your seat. Let's go check it out. Let's go. All right, so they got experience, spaceship, art and science, about news. Book your flight. Let's pretend want to fly. The first 30 flights are sold out. Limited availability of flights 31 through 100. Flights 100, 101 plus, 1,000 deposit for individual seats. Bespoke experience and further information, right? So let's go up here and let's hit the experience. I know y'all got to find this interesting. I find it interesting. All right. So let me see. Do they have that? Their background is distracting, but I get it. Um, Astronauts exclaim the multifaceted transformative experience of seeing the Earth and the blue line of the atmosphere from space is stunningly beautiful. Book your space flight, an experience to share, and this is what the model looks like, right? Connection culture. Your journey begins now. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. I wanted to know how far, we just looked at see where how far they can go up. So here they got lift off from your launch pad. Looks like you land a total flight time of 6 hours. um Here we go. Apogee is space above 100,000 feet. Time of apogee is 2,000. So here we got flights for the plane at 75,000. Right. So here we are at 100,000 feet. Time of apogee is 2 hours, and then you come back down. Right. So here, and then you look like you land in water, and look like they got a rescue boat that's out there that's keeping track. What I would not be surprised is if they got somebody like Polestar that would invest in them. We talked about Polestar with logistics and so forth, right? We talked about them. All right, so let's go back and see what kind of jobs they got here. News. Let's go about crew careers. All right. Let's go explore opportunities. Let's see if you were right. All right. Aerospace engineer. All right. Q4. There you go. Thermal and fluid engineer. Neptune environmental control and life support systems lead. Electromechanical engineer. Power engineer are the ones that they have right now. So this is where, to me, like those that are in school, and they based out of Cape Canaveral. For those that are in college, right? This is where your degree in electrical engineering, aerospace, mechanical engineering. This is when you put those people together, right? To talk about these days. I'm surprised. I guess they just got word of mouth for sales right now. Let me see. They got their salaries up here. Let me look. Let me go back down then. Then like that. All right, C salaries collected directly from employees on jobs at Indeed. Salary information complaint comes from zero data points collected. Oh, I guess they don't have them out there. Reviews. Oh, this is on Indeed. That's why. We go back. The job showed directly up on Indeed. That's what it is. That's how I got here. I was like, how I get here? It's because the jobs that their link, their job, their career opportunities took me directly to that. All right, let's go look at see who. Let's go about and let's go look at crew. All right, so let me blow this back now. Jane Pointner, founder and co-CEO, and Tabor McCollum, founder and co-CEO. He's the CTO. Then John Clark, Mitzi Giles. Here we go. You already know what it. This is what I be talking about with the landscape. Even the dog, the space dog, has a profile. Lola. All right. So there you have it. And they out of Cape Canaveral. So um, I'm not gonna say what else is over there. I know what's over there. Um, near Melbourne, but I'll say this: they got funding. That's all I'm gonna say. Right? They got funding. All right. So the boss here's where they've been reported at inside the news and so forth. Right? Just everybody's like you can look at and see they've been talking about them and the pictures that they and here's the pictures and so forth and so on. They said exclusive resorts to send first privately chartered travel group flight to space with space perspective. That was September the 16th for 2020. Right. All right. It's exclusive resorts out of Denver. The premier, but the premier members only vacation club. You see how you peel back the layers? You see how you peel back the layers and you start digging in and start finding out stuff. Now I want to know what members only, what is exclusive resorts in Denver like? What do y'all do, and how do they make the connection with them? Is there somebody vacation there? Do they have a timeshare there? Trying to tell you, better read the lines. All right, so that was space perspective, right? Um, they getting your resume today. Yeah, yeah, I would send it over. I most definitely would send it over. Because they're on a Series A and they're looking, and you see that they're in Cape Canaveral. That's about 3 hours, 3.5 hours from here. It's on the coast, so I would go check them out. All right, let me see what else did I have in here. I have a lot of jobs right now. Oh, all right. So in other news, this is one I don't know if y'all know about this. Did I put it on here? I think I might have put it on my other one. But did you all know the Ark Invest is moving to Florida? Guess where they're moving to? They're moving to St. Pete. Ark Invest is moving to St. Pete. All right. They're moving to Florida. Not too far. Not too far. All right. So I have another link somewhere. Let me see if this brings it up of what the building that they're building gonna look like. It's an ad on here. I have another one where we got a picture of the building that they're building and what it's gonna look like. Let me see. Let me look. Let me type it in. It's in my other link. Let me see if we got the images. If they got it on here. Here it is, right here. Technology investment firm chooses St. Pete over Miami for its new headquarters. And I know why. A major financial backer of innovative technology is moving its headquarters out of New York into Florida instead of Miami. The company chose downtown St. Pete. Kathy Wood's ARK Investment plans to invest in the region in some big ways. And I keep telling you, there's a lot going on. Just wait, right? So Kathy Woods is an icon in the investment industry. You know about her background, how she got started. If you're not, you should subscribe to her YouTube channel and listen to their lives and so forth. Get involved. Um, Arts moved downtown on Central Avenue. Okay, so I've been telling y'all, like, I don't know if you've been listening. Oh, hell, I've been talking about it. But all these $7 million, $10 million condos been going up, and I'm like who's putting money into building these and where that's going. So here we go. And I talked about Polestar; they're here as well too. So a lot of new companies are in the area. But again, they've been focusing on getting this Tampa Bay Innovation Center built out. Uh, there's uh, a whole new a whole new building going up for just investors, not in Tampa, but they call it the Tampa Innovation Center, but it's actually here in St. Pete. So, um, you know, but that just gives you an idea, right? So she got a lot of weight behind her in the industry. So we'll start seeing a lot of those different things happening out there. So that was big news for me when I was looking at it. Um, let's look at this. This is okay. This one. This one here out of the Linux Foundation. All right, so I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Elisa Project welcomes Code Think, Horizon Robotics, Yahweh Technology, NVIDIA, and Red Hat to its global system. The Elisa Project is excited to welcome. So, what is the Elisa Project? So, it's enabling Linux and safety applications project. That's what it is. Enabling Linux and safety applications. All right. So remember, I've talked about this before about um when it comes to these little groups, like who's a part of the group, right? So Code Think, Yahweh, Horizon Robotics, Red Hat, Nvidia. So then I will go to those companies and look for in this particular project as well too. And look to see what projects are they working on, and then if you look at what projects they're working on, what's the future of those projects, like where they headed into. So that means they got money behind these projects. That means they put investments inside of this project. Yeah, Ark Invest is the channel, and I'll pull that up real quick and just type in Ark Invest. You do Kathy Wood either or, but it is right here. Ark Invest, 493 subscribers. This is the one she did. I haven't finished. You can see I haven't finished it yet. With China and inflation and what's going on with Zoom and so forth for investing. And see, I was looking at trust funds this morning. We'll talk about that. We ain't gonna have enough time though. All right. So again, check them out. All right. So the Elisa Project. Why did I bring this up? I brought this up because you can see from looking at their site, they have an ambassador program, they have mentorship opportunities, working groups. Since the launch, the project has created several working groups to collaborate and work towards providing resources for system integrators to apply to utilize qualitatively and quantitatively on their systems. So, working with medical devices, the safety architecture, kernel development and processors, and so forth. And so then you have this group right here. You can go over here and click on the link. And then now here's the working groups, right? So now you get a chance to see how these groups here, these companies here, are working with these groups to get safety. And so now, when you're looking for what's the future and what's the jobs, it's investment already invested into this. It's research and development already there. And now you get a chance to look and see, okay, well, they got a group working on medical devices, open source engineering, tool integration, and code improvement, and then get involved, right? And now here it takes you to enabling Linux in safety applications, right? And then they have a list of who's the chair, the number of members, the weekly meetup, how you can contribute, what's going on with it, attend the meetings, right? This is what I talk about when we talk about open source. Linux is open source. It is a community build. That's but it just so happened that some people make money off of it, right? And most people, a lot of people make money off of open source, right? So again, this just gives you a pathway to look at. And the Linux Foundation has a ton of open source projects. Red Hat has a ton of open source project. Even Accenture, um, Google, a lot of companies have a lot of open source projects that they work on and that they feed into as far as research and so forth, right? All right. So that gives you a little bit about how to dig when we're talking about open source and so forth. But there's, as you can see on this page, there's a ton of other projects to go under. This is just one I just picked out because I was highlighting the robotics and the safety around being put into these things, right? Safety around Linux, and we talk about robotics and space and satellites. What's the safety concerns around those things? So that's where that came from. All right. So the next one was um, keeping on a embedded side. Like I said, this show's gonna be a combination, right? Because we got somebody come on it too. There's a new course for Risk V out of, I think this is out of the Linux Foundation too, but this is deal with on the embedded side, right? This is on out of the Linux Foundation on the embedded side. The reason why I brought that up is because we're launching satellites, little mini satellites like with Starlink and even on drones and so forth. But this gives you like, okay, well, what is risk? Risk 5. So that's the name of the actual um, course. So we'll go here and type in Linux Foundation. I just want to see if they got a layout of the training. All right, so blow that up because it all keeps coming in small. Let me get rid of that. All right, so what? Who is it for? Courses designed for risk enthusiasts, hardware nerds, anyone interested in the details of open source ISA. 10 hours of course, enroll for free. 7 weeks of free access to online course. If you want to get the certificate, you can. The course contains high level overview of risk international as well as how to get started. Here are the chapters. Getting to know, developing the community, risk at practice, and then a final exam. And then they break down the training here a little bit more. Linux kernel internals and development, embedded Linux device drivers. I talk about this all the time. Embedded Linux development, Linux kernel debugging and security platform, and then working with the Yocto project. What does this lead you to? This gets into the whole space travel, the robotics, um, even hardware from a vendor standpoint when you're looking at HP and Dell, even IBM. When we're and even at a level of just creating something and selling it, right? You may be interested in that. Just different ways to look at things, right? Just different ways to look at things. All right. So let me see what else we got here. Do 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 do. Oh, I think I put this up here last night. I'm telling you, just have a lot of information. All right, so this came through yesterday on the 15th. Yep. Can you work remotely? These are the 19 places that'll give you $20,000 or free housing to work remotely. Places across the U.S. are using cash homes to lure newly mobile remote workers. Insider rounded up 19 states and cities in order to do that. Let's get down here to the list. Tulsa, Oklahoma. You have to be a Linux expert to pass the class. No, it's free. There's no Linux expert to pass the class. You may get some commands, but no, it's free. No expert. Uh, you need to be an expert for that. Tulsa, because you can look that stuff up. Tulsa remote. Um, Minnesota, a city on the lake in Minnesota to reimburse you for your relocations. I guess it's yeah, Bemi DG. I don't know how to say that. BEMID DJI. Minnesota. I don't know where that's at. West Virginia. I'm just gonna Okay, a small city in Pennsylvania wants to give you a free fixer upper. Uh, Monessen, Pennsylvania, a small city just south of Pittsburgh, is offering up free homes. It used to be a steel town. A region in Arkansas is offering potential new residents 10,000 in cash. Consider Fayetteville a city in the Ozarks where the University of Arkansas is based, or Bentonville home to the headquarters of Walmart and Sam's Club. Vermont is offering 7,500 to potential residents looking for a new home and an employment. Small town in Illinois is offering $5,000 for you to move there. Quincy, Tucson is offering remote workers 7,500. Alabama, a handful of cities in Alabama. The Shoals in Alabama is offering 10,000, located near the border of Tennessee and Mississippi. I don't know about that. The program offers up to 2,500 for relocation and 2,500 after you move there. Topeka, Kansas, maybe. And Oahu, Hawaii is offering free airfare and discounted hotel rates. Speaking of Oahu, um, I have a company that's actually looking for um, a team lead for a government contract. You do need to be cleared. Just throwing this out here. They're based out of Hawaii. You work remotely. Is The company is called Revacom. I spoke with him last night, before the live. Um, you'll be ahead of a 20-person team, um, 10 to 20. They already have funding. They already kicked off. Two interviews. Um, they are uh, they are they're a well established company now. They have 86 people. I told him I would put it out here, so here I am putting it out here. That made me think about it. It's team lead. You need to understand infrastructure as code. They are prime on the contract, so you won't be working for a sub. With that being said, you also will be driving, um, doing a lot of the driving in terms of making the decision to do the migration, right? They are um, they're changing their PTO, 3 weeks PTO, and other stuff. But if you want to know more about it, hit me up in Slack. I'll give you a direct introduction to the guy who's over the company. And actually, how it came back up, I interviewed with them a year and a half ago. Uh, the position never got funded. He thought about me from the interview that we did a year and a half ago. He needed somebody, and I told him, I check it out. So I'm passing it on to you as well. More than welcome, to check it out. Nothing wrong with the job, great pay, great sign on bonus. But you can hit me up afterwards to let me know what you're thinking. All right, all right. Back to the things. Please share this URL for working remotely. Okay, yeah, D can grab that. Hold on. Let me grab it and just put it back because I know she don't want to filter through the links. Hold on. Let me put it back there. All right. There you go. All right. So that was that one. Um, we did increase your vision in tech. Oh, here we go. Let's get down to a company. I got a lot of stuff though. I got a whole nother sheet that I need to bring up. Oh, I know why that didn't work. Hold on. Do do. All right. Upstart. The end of the beginning. Upstart shares have been strong for the past. The appreciation has been based on quarters and so forth and so on. What is Upstart? The other day, a company announced Upstart Auto Retail, an end-to-end platform for auto detailers and buyers, from dramatically changes the car buying paradigm. Right. So let's go check out Upstart. They've already been on the Nasdaq. So UPST. So let's go over here to Yahoo Finance, and then let's type in UPST, and then we'll go check them out. 390. Let's see what they've been looking like over the past 6 months. As you can see, an upward trend. Let's see. Let me see. I know they ain't been around for 5 years. Yes, they probably been out about a year. Looks like we got a year here, but we got an upward trend here on that. And this is Upstart Holdings. All right, so let's type in Upstart Holdings. All right, so we go here, Upstart. All right, get a smarter loan, pay off credit card debt, so forth, so on. Let's go about. I mentioned why, because credit really matters. Money is fundamental ingredient, and unless you're one of the few percent of Americans with significant wealth, the price of borrowing affects you every single day. Um, Founded by ex-Googlers, originated 13.68 billion of loans, fully automated 71%, so forth and so on. Here's their careers, and we'll go back and look at leadership. We already know what it is, though. You all want me to look at remote positions, or you want me to look at you want me to look at San Mateo, or you want me to look at California? I'm going to assume you want me to look at remote. That's what I'm going with. Remote positions. Let's scroll down here. Work life balance, 401k plan, perks, a fully stocked kitchen, technology equipment, budget, so forth, so on. Let's explore roles. Okay, so compliance, associate auto lending. So when you see compliance, you got to think about um, what type of compliance. Also, not only just what type of compliance. When we're looking at this, let's think about this. Where does the data live? Right? Is it on prem? Is it in AWS? Is it in Azure? Is it in GCP? So they have to meet a set of requirements there, right? And on prem, right? If they had to, right? So you got to think about that, and then you got to think about is data, and what did you do, and how is that data moving, right? So those things come to mind for me on the tech side. So then we hop down here to data engineer. We got infrastructure engineer, data platform analytics engineer, senior data platform, senior infrastructure DevOps engineer. And I'm not sure why they separate senior DevOps engineer from DevOps. I don't know, right? I don't know. Let's go find out though. Site reliability engineer, DevOps. And see, this is what I was talking about before. SRE and DevOps, they're going to just slowly start coming together, right? Yep, stock has doubled this year. Exactly. Exactly. Right? So let's look at senior DevOps. Let's look at senior infrastructure slash DevOps. Let's look at senior DevOps, and then let's look at SRE. And I know we got some data people in here, and let's look at senior data platform. All I want to look at is all I'm looking for on those roles are, oh, here's a content marketing manager. People are always asking about different jobs in tech. Look, content marketing manager, right? Content marketing manager and implementation manager. So you look when you're looking at these tech companies, look at different ways. And we even have machine learning. I didn't even come all the way down yet. Right? Machine learning, marketing prodigy, operations, operations onboarding, loan processors, operations servicing, senior technical recruiter in engineering, uh, product. I talked about product management. This all's under remote, by the way. Sales, inside managed sales operations, software development, engineering tests, software engineering. Like everybody can work it, right? So let's go here and blow this up. All right. So CI/CD process, develop proof of concepts and enhancement, evangelize good coding and engineering best practices, AWS, EC2, SQS, S3, Lambda, EKS, DevOps role, Python. Those are the ones that I picked. But again, like I said before, this is what I tell you all before. Most most of what I've seen, most startups are looking for senior people to hit the ground running because they're trying to get the product to market. They're trying to maintain the sales, Once they become a little bit more established, after they reach maybe after about 80 to 90, right around in there, that's usually what sweet spot people, they'll come back and say, okay, now we don't need some people that are the expensive people. We can drop down and get what we call cheaper rates, cheap labor, and get those people in. So that's from a startup. If I'm a startup, right? If say I got a company, I'm creating a company. I'm not gonna go hire somebody who just got out of college and don't know what they're doing because I don't have the money to spend on them like that. I don't have, and when I say the money, it's the time it takes to get the product built. So I gotta get. I'll pay the senior person to get help me get the product to market. And then once I pay the senior person to get the product to market, then I start building my team around that person, or around the customers to get the product that I need at a cheaper rate. Right. That's why you see seniors. Right. So 4 years of experience. Then this is senior. 4 years of experience. Knowledge of Linux architecture, administration, troubleshooting, production operations. It's always come back to Linux as your foundation. Some cloud, some type of security, Kubernetes, Python, Rust, Go. Those are your things. They use Jenkins and Terraform. So basically, what they have is probably GitHub or GitLab. Push to Jenkins, write your code in Terraform, use Jenkins to push out. They're probably using Vault for their cluster, then Ansible for configuration of whatever they need. Hands-on experience with Kubernetes, probably maybe even managed Kubernetes or vanilla Kubernetes. Sounds like it may be vanilla Kubernetes because they specify. Understanding cloud network and how to set up VPCs and VPC peering, data pipeline, data stores, Kafka streaming, and have worked with and transitioned from monolithic to microservice architecture. The 12 refactor app, that website that I talked about how to refactor and move to microservices. Right. Now that is the senior infrastructure DevOps engineer. Then we got the senior DevOps engineer. Now that one needs 5 years. I don't know why the senior don't need five, but the senior needs four. Five, you need to understand cloud formation, and now there may be a different team. High level work experience with working in high security, high compliance environments such as healthcare and finance. Why? Because you got compliant rules that you need to meet, and those are where those sticks come into play. Understanding the platform in which you're on, meeting. Hey, we got a retention policy of having data for 5 years, and what does that look like, and how do you set that up in an automated fashion in order to do that? They're using Ansible and Chef. Here they're doing Docker, Kubernetes slash OpenShift. Slash OpenShift meaning you're using OpenShift, right? Bash scripting and Python, right? Now that was the senior DevOps engineer. This one was the senior infrastructure DevOps engineer. This is the site reliability engineer. Let's drop down here. Same thing, except now you got a workflow tools like Demisto. Never heard of that. Understanding run books, SOPs, record training sessions, reporting and visualizing skills. So now you start to see the difference with the SRE. So this is how they define what they need for an SRE. And senior data platform engineer, 8 years. Hadoop, MapReduce, data processing, experience with relational databases, analytic databases, software engineering experience, a degree in computer science, mathematics, stats, experience with cloud computing, AWS and Google, so they got a multi cloud. Elasticsearch, Solar, BigQuery. I hope they're paying this one. This job they need to pay on that one. Slot for a platform. That's a lot. So you see how we you was able to go through, look at this company, right, and see what they're doing, right? Now you see that they doubled in the last year and so forth. All right, let's go. We have, let me see, AQR company, and we'll go to their website. Let me pull that. You saw that title, right? You saw the headline. Inside the $137 billion quantitative manager AQR shift to public cloud that would see its costs cut by 30%. In the article, he talks about we don't want to do a lift and shift. So AQR is hiring, right? But you can see what they do um, in terms of their worth, right? And let's go look up AQR, and I'm gonna go back to the positions. I mean, I'm gonna go back to that to their holdings. I want to click on the ad. I want to click on their site. All right, so here, um, they got 137 billion on the under funding. The firm is in the midst of a multi-year public cloud migration. Their CTO detailed the move that will lead to saving 30%. And then they kind of go into here like what they're looking for, and we can look at their funds as well too. Um, there was like meticulous planning and research, so forth and so on, and not looking to lift and shift. AQR has leaned on two public cloud providers, Amazon and Microsoft Azure, to transition nearly a third of its production workloads to the cloud. So again, a multi-cloud strategy again, right? AQR expects 60% of its compute volume will be on the public cloud by halfway through 2022. It looks to reduce its on-premise workloads by 10 to 15% of its tech stack. Um, and then let's go over here and check them out. Here's their website. Here are the careers. Explore. They got some for students. All right. So they have engineering, university, business development, portfolio finance, compliance, and then by location here. So let's go engineering. All right, and let me blow this up because I know it looks a little small. All right, so cloud application, Python developer, desktop, enterprise engineering VP in Bangalore, front office data engineer. Um, it must be getting some type of tax cuts. Front office, front end research, information security lead, remote. Middle office, ops engineering, engineering lead, research VP, trading systems engineer. Let's look at that. And then let's go back up and look at ops VP. And then let's look at, so you got market data associate. Let's look at the security lead. All right. Security lead is up. All right. Your role with information security lead will manage a team of subject matter experts or SMEs to architect, design, build, and operate information security infrastructure for both cloud and on premise. So when I hear both cloud and on premise, I'm thinking of a direct connect. I'm thinking of routing in between the two, what's supposed to happen, failovers, disaster recovery. I'm thinking about all of that. and that's a multi-cloud strategy, right? Interface with senior stakeholders, architect and execute multi-year information security technical roadmap to enable cloud-centric technology, lead day-to-day team operations to monitor and troubleshoot, lead advancement security analytics, manage and mentor. What you will bring: 15 years of experience, 10 years of architecting with AWS and or Azure and or Google Cloud, master degree in information security or computer science or electrical engineering. I don't know why electrical engineering would be not not nobody with electrical engineering, but electrical engineers don't graduate with AWS skills. Security architect, much less security. Does that make sense? But okay. Effectively communicate best practices, security, technology expertise, IDS, DLP, SDLC, DevOps, CI/CD, security, configuration and patterns of security controls, and secure migration of enterprise applications to the public cloud. OpenID, Kerberos, public key, NIST, CSF. There we go. Computer Security Alliance, CSA, and NIST, CSF. Earn cloud architecture and cloud security certifications, Azure, GCP, AWS, the CSSP, security. I mean, the list goes on. It's a long list. You better be getting paid for this. You can't do nothing under three for this, right? I wouldn't. All right. Ops engineering lead VP in Bangalore. PhD, masters, 10 years, blah, blah, blah. Net, .NET, Java, NoSQL, SQL, so forth, right? That is ops engineering lead. This is a trading system engineer VP. Computer science, you see they didn't put electrical engineering on this one. Software development, collaborate with internal development teams, participate in global calls, experience in working with and collaborating with global distributed geographic teams, expertise in C++ and Golang, AWS, Hadoop, big data, cloud, Python, database programming, automatic testing frameworks is a plus. And last but not least, oh, that was everything. Them was three. Yeah, you see they didn't have an electrical engineer on that one, right? Right. All right, so here we go. We got 8 minutes left. Got 8 minutes left. All right. I don't know if you all are familiar with this one. Do y'all keep up with this? AWS Deep Racer League 2021 season. Do y'all keep up with Deep Racer? You go on YouTube. Here's the two that I keep up with: Robo Race. This is the car that does they have the race, and it uses AI machine learning to learn the paths, and they tweak the code and stuff like that for the races. I don't know, have y'all ever looked at that? Autonomous racing. Right. Here's what the car looks like. I talked about this before, right? There's no driver, and they're gonna hit the launch. Um, Again, this is just another situation we not in, right? Just let it launch. So there it goes. No driver. Learning the track, when to slow down, when to speed up, what's the obstacles in front of it, and then they have teams surrounding this. I ain't seen those. That's okay. All right. So the what I was looking up was Deep Racing League, Deep Racer, WS. Have y'all been keeping up with this?
Please welcome your host, sportscaster and reporter.
right? Whole this was at reInvent, but again, 165-mile track, millions of line of code. They've been had it now for some time, but check it out. So Deep Racer, let me pull up my notes. Um, they just launched their new season. But if you go on the website and check it out, you can see how you can form a team and start doing using like machine learning and AI to compete. So it's considered a sports event. And I've been hearing like mumbles of it being in the Olympics. So you know, just want you to know. All right, let me see. Ark Invest, jobs. What's this one? No, that's a pitch that I'm just going through my notes, make sure I cover everything. And I talked about it earlier this week. The 40 million jobs that, or 40 million people that Google is trying to train for cloud computing. They got a mission. Why did I have this? Oh, because I wanted to talk about also. Did y'all keep up with all the conferences that was going on this week? All the conferences that we had this week. CubeCon. Yeah, AI rates a super huge investment opportunity. CubeCon, Google Next, uh, Bitcoin, um, which I spoke at Bitcoin, and then there was one more conference that was going on this week, right? And so, when you again attend these conferences, you get a chance to see where people are headed and what they're doing. But I brought this up. This came out in April though, but I brought it up. The next wave of edge computing with the latest version of the world's leading enterprise Linux platform, right? And they're talking about 8.4, but then I also talk about edge computing from the perspective of telecommunications and transportations to smart automobiles and enterprise devices. And remember before I showed you about the safety being implemented in that. You saw Red Hat was a part of that group, right? So again, you see how the two kind of come back and correlate with each other, right? So again, safety in the car, so and then safety in telecommunications and space and so forth, right? Let me look and see. And did anybody want to come up? Let me ask that before we get out of here. I don't think D dropped the link, but let me make sure I got all my stuff taken care of that I want to talk about. Well, for some odd reason, I got this car platform here. Let me look and see what this is. Why did I save this link? Oh, with Red Hat, Volkswagen Group builds an innovative virtual test environment for vehicles. Oh, okay. Just a car platform. I kept it aside. Learn how Volkswagen Group teamed up with Red Hat to create a platform and automated process for virtual and physical integration tests. Yeah, you may want to check that link out. You might want to look at how they did stuff. That might be of interest to you. Yep, check it out. And you're more than welcome to come up if you got something that you wanted to share or say, or just wanted to say hi. I'm still going through the notes to make sure I covered everything. Oh, Ark Invest jobs. Let's go here to use that one. Autonomous technology, robotics associate, and research content editor. We're seeking experienced content editor and writer with a background and passion in science and technology. You will work directly with arts research team, reviewing original research directly directing quality standards and serving as a final editor for publication. So let's go to job description. Oh, okay, Miss Paul. Who we are, what you would do. Um, Require a content editor who will ensure documents meet our quality standards. You work directly with arts research team. uh, Publication, the role will provide an important link between arts marketing and research teams, such as, and will require not only excellent writing and editing skills, but also project management experience and strong understanding and interest in science, technology, data visualization, not to mention a passion for disruptive technology. So, if you're looking for something like that, ARC is looking for people for research content editor. I should apply. I should apply. Right? Let me see what else we got in here. Anybody backstage, D? Let me double check. I don't see. Nope. Okay, no problem. All right. Let me make sure I got everything. Command line heroes. Why did I have them here? I got another link. Come on. Oh, this is their podcast. Gain insights on the heroes. Let me open up my other link. Make sure I got everything. I know D is like, yo, what you doing? I'm just making sure I cover everything. Hold on. See, 17. Let me go to that one. Okay. All right. So this is my other one. All right. So I'm gonna read this off. Let me pull this over. This is how I've been having my research right here. All right. Um. All right. So I'm gonna read this off real quick. All right. IBM, Deloitte introduced an AI managed analytics solution. IBM and Deloitte have introduced a new AI enabled offering to unlock business insight in hybrid cloud environments. I don't know, that don't look like you can see it. Hold on. Let me get right here on it. I tell you, I'll be doing a lot of research on stuff, right? Oops, it's on the wrong screen. Here we go. And then we reduce this one. All right, cool. All right, so IBM and Deloitte introduced that. It's called Dapper. It's an AI enabled managed analytics solution run by Deloitte in the IBM cloud. I talked about IBM cloud and quantum. We talked about IBM cloud and quantum and what crypto and what that space looks like. Last week we talked about quantum computing and where that could be headed to. Remember that, right? Um, it's fully managed analytics service provides a choice of service offerings in a subscription model and three core elements to help business obtain maximum value out of their cloud enabled platform. IBM with streamlined administration, giving a DevOps experience to help accelerate the delivery of analytics. You see that, right? AI, DevOps, quantum, right? Keep up with that. Keep up with that market. Google Cloud Marketplace Cable OS platform. Um, HLIT. Go look them up. Announced the integration on Google Cloud platform. The integration provides operators with quick access to Google Marketplace application using Cable OS as a common platform to deploy applications from Google Cloud. So let's go look up HLIT on Yahoo Finance, and then we'll go look at the company. And I don't want this information to go um, on to next week. All right. So let's look. Oh, look, they look 5 day. They had a swing. What it looked like for 6 months. They had a big run in August, up and down. Had a high and dipped back down. This look like they may be their level right here. Like $8, $9. Not bad though, right? Let me close this and this one. We keep that on the end. So it's called harmonic. Um, let's look at see what else they got. Harmonics, HLIP. We'll type in harmonic, and we'll see what their website. Right here we go. Right here, the future is smarter, faster, simpler. We're creating a future of video streaming services and cable access solutions for your customers. So video streaming, um, cable access solutions, intelligent connectivity for next gen broadband services and greener operations. Um, they have their marketing here set up. Let's go to about. Let's hit careers. They're going into AWS. No, that automatically. Yep, just under 10. Um, discover our values, read about us, recruiting on more. Let's go with that one. Looks like that may be the right one. All right, 1,500, 25 offices around the world, global media customers, um, companies that they work with around the world. I'm looking for the jobs. Let me go back and hit careers here. I don't know what happened to it. Let's hit decline on that. Who are okay? Here it is. See open positions. All right. Um, senior database, Oracle. That's probably their back end. Marketing, operations, product marketing, R&D, cable access. And under R&D, cable access, they got a DevOps engineer, a DevOps technical lead, hardware development engineer, software automation test engineer, software development system integrator, software development QA, team leader, low level team. And this is out of Israel. Peep gang. For the R&D. For the US, they got a product manager SaaS solution. Let me see if we can filter on. We can't filter on location. Facilities manager in San Jose. Let me look. The rest looks like Hong Kong, France, Vancouver, San Jose, California for development and QA. Vancouver software development sales across the board, service engineer, and that looks like they're across the board. Looks like most of the hit heavy stuff is out of Israel, right? I know, right? They're not seeing that. They didn't see that how it's tied to YouTube. They didn't see that, right? All right, Oracle is to open up 14 cloud regions over the next year. Oracle is not going anywhere. 14 cloud regions in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America. One over the next 1 year to support customer demand for its Oracle Cloud services, which services and met continued triple digit growth, right? So not just the U.S. It's all over, right? So when if they got to expand to 14 different regions, that means they need people to help them expand Oracle Cloud, all right? And it says last week the Oracle teamed up with Telecom and Novell plan to offer multi-cloud services in Italy, right? So you can be around the world. I don't know. Have y'all been keeping up with Blackstone? What people been talking about with Blackstone? owning Blackstone, no matter what, they own all the banks. It's a whole YouTube series out there. But anyway, Blackstone's $411 billion real estate portfolio has a secret weapon, a cloud based tool to analyze property data that investigating giant built itself. Because why? They buy subdivisions, they buy houses, right? And they built it. So they keep all the data for themselves. Real Estate Data Direct, or RED, is part of an effort to compile data in its portfolio of companies. RED shows Blackstone plans on quantifying its broader set of investments. Right. The private equity giant is the largest owner of commercial real estate in the world, and it boasts a portfolio of commercial and residential properties roughly of 411 billion. So so now the question I had to ask, what would we arguing about on YouTube? What we arguing about? All right, I just wanted to show you that one. That was the move to St. Pete. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This one. Facebook is launching a live shopping events November the 1st. Shop live on Facebook like you do Amazon live stream. Do the live streams on Amazon shopping. If you're on live stream, you can now do live shopping experience on Facebook and Instagram. Sell your products live. The brands participating in the live events benefit Cosmetics, Cockatine, Macy's, Paint Box Nails, Tanya Taylor, Ulta, Walmart. I'm not sure who Viore is. I'm not sure they are. Also, is offering a drops destination where users can sign up and get notified when items are available for purchase. Right. And last but not least, I wanted to do a deeper dive on Nvidia. I'm gonna have to say that for another show. But Nvidia proposes concessions to the EU for the $54 billion ARM holding acquisition. I had this a couple of weeks ago and I didn't get a chance to talk about it, so I couldn't talk about it again. So here we go. That's right. Go back and look at Facebook stock again. It's about to do a run. So if you swing trade, that might be why you want to do it. You might want to swing trade that, right? And and by no means am I giving financial advice. That is my disclaimer. We're not financial advisors over here. We cannot tell you what you do with your money. Yep, QQQ is staying strong. Yep. You know, I talked about QQQ months ago. Nvidia proposes concessions on to the EU for $54 billion for the ARM deal. That hasn't gone through yet, but if that is the case, be on the lookout for Nvidia. Um, and you know, I don't know, but everybody is making their own chip now. Did you see the new Apple? Did you hear about the M2? Have you seen that? Apple M2 Silicon. Yeah, the new MacBook. Everything we know about the M2, because you know they already did the chip, the M1 chip, right? That came out in the latest iPad, but for the new MacBook Pros, it's the M2 chip that's coming out. Yep, this is only for edutainment purposes only. Yep. So we got the M1, the M1X, the M2, and then the M2X chip, right? So find out about Apple M1. Close that. M2 chips coming in Apple have much better, how much better than M1, the M1X and the M2 will be. and then when it launched and it's coming out, M1 chip was introduced in 2020. Um, Despite only being available in Apple's entry level Macs, the 24-inch iMac, the MacBook Air, the Mac Mini, and two MacBook Pro models. Now the attention has turned to the next generation of Apple processors, with Apple's first CPU and GPU for Macs, proving that the company know exactly what they're doing. The benchmarks have appeared to for what widely thought to be the next generation of Apple Mac processors that indicate that the next Apple chip will be even more powerful than the M1. We don't know what the successor to the M1 will be called. There are suggestions and so forth. It's called Silicon. It's been called the MacBook Silicon Pro, something like that. Is what I've been seeing. Um, Apple is working on the next generation of its chips and are likely to arrive in this order: M1X, M2, and M2X. M1X will be arriving in 2021. Then we expect to see M2 in 2022 and M2X in 2022, towards the end of 2022 or maybe 2023. The MacBook update is expected in October. The M1X chip, rumors point to a 14-inch MacBook Pro and 16-inch MacBook Pro. Um, but here's the other thing that this lends towards, right? If I'm Apple, just my hypothetical thoughts, my hypothetical thoughts, and I created this chip, I can do a couple of things with this chip. I can sell the chip. I can integrate that chip into cars because they're already working on a car. I can create my own cloud and my own devices as far as bare metal machines around these chips. I can create my own cloud around these chips and keep all my data internally, right? I can offer some type of in-house cloud solution. I got data for days. I got data for decades. Um, just my thought. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. You all off, you know what you're talking about, Tameika. But if I'm Apple and I'm building out this car, now they might for the right price. Everything is negotiable. They might sell it to somebody, but again, acquire hire, right? I got a chip. Who would I go acquire? Will I go acquire Dell? Will I go acquire HP for the hardware and roll that in there? Like, think about it. They do. They're hoarders, but I'm sure for the right price they might come up off the chip if the shortage continues. Yep, if they bought HP, rolled that chip into HP, now they got the market covered, right? They can even throw that chip into the lower end processors to the common people, even though they have the Apple, the MacBooks, the whole nine. But say somebody wants to, a cheap laptop or something like that. But I can see them on the hardware side, on the upper end of the hardware side, in terms of data center, is what I see them at, and that's what I see this as a play for autonomous cars. I see it as a play for probably acquiring a company, a hardware company, um, and embedding that device and actually putting that in somebody's cloud. That's what I see, right? But that's all I had for today. We'll be back in almost about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, really. But let me know in the comments if you didn't catch this live. Um, yeah, sounds right. Sounds like an AI chippy. Yep, that's where I'm going with that. I wouldn't even be surprised if we start talking about space with this chip or these chips, and even take it one step further. We just saw the situation with the space balloon out in Cape Canaveral. right? And what they're looking for from people. I wouldn't even be surprised if something like that, they would invest in something like that, um, to do have their own arm into space without trying to go to space. So acquire hire a company like that to offer tourism around it and integrate it with, whatever. Apple, if you see this, go ahead and cut me a check. I got visions. Go ahead and cut Women in Linux a check. You don't even have to do that. You can just donate on the PayPal. We'll get it. I'm just letting you know. All right. But thank y'all for coming out. Catch you at 2 o'clock. Be here at 2. I'm telling you, you're not gonna want to miss this one. It's We're gonna have fun today. All right. See you at 2.